Hello and welcome to the Brutal Iron Gym podcast, where our goal is to cut through the BS and deliver the brutal truth about topics related to health and happiness. Today's podcast number 1746. The topic is training and the title is Breaking Through Plateaus. What do you do when you're stuck? We had a listener send in that question. They've been struggling in their training. They've been doing powerlifting. And they just feel completely beat up, feel horrible. They were like eating a lot and thought that was like going to help, but it wasn't helping. And then they tried to cut back on calories. That way maybe they could at least get leaner, but now they feel like crap and everything hurts and they're just completely lost. So we started talking. One of the things we came to was I told them since they're struggling and they're not getting feedback from their coach, which was one of the reasons why they reached out, because they're a friend of one of my clients. I said, well, if your coach isn't coming back to you, if you haven't gotten a new program, they haven't gotten a new program for 8 weeks. I was like, just go on to our website, Live Monthly Programming Service. We have a free full month program available for powerlifting. We have all 6 of our program focal points. We have a free 1 month example. So I said, download that, follow that for a month, and I guarantee it's going to help, because it's going to have a better balance of like intensity and volume than what his current programming has. And there's a lot of corrective exercise therapy elements within the program. A lot of good stuff. So I was like, try that. Let's start there. And then we started talking about some other tips. And I wanted to share 3 of the tips in more of a general way in today's podcast. The first thing that we want to look at anytime we're plateaued is, are we maximizing our recovery? Am I recovering as best as I can? And the reason why this is important is it's during recovery that not only do we be able to show back up to train again, but we see the fruition, we see the completion of the adaptations from the training. So if I go into the gym and I want to get stronger, I don't get I can get technically better as I practice a lift in the gym, which can help me better display my strength. But how I actually get stronger is through neurological adaptations that are made between workouts. My body goes home, it recognizes all the damage I caused to it, it uses nutrition and sleep to rebuild the tissues that were damaged to make them more robust and better. And then that's how we come in the next workout and we make improvements. That's how we don't plateau. The recovery isn't just to get you to your next workout. Recovery is to see the completion of the adaptations. To have the whole point of working out actually make a benefit. That's the purpose of training, is to get the adaptations between the training. So if I'm not recovering maximally, it's not the focus of, well, I felt good enough, I could come back in and train again. Good, but that's not actually the focus. The focus is we want to be maximally recovered so that we made maximal adaptations. That's the point of recovery. So we talked about sleep. His sleep has been all over the place, but he said mostly because he's stressed at work and he's also stressed that he's plateaued. So it just hasn't been the best quality. So we talked about sleep. You can listen to podcast 1149. It's a mindset podcast titled Creating a Healthier Sleep Pattern. You can find that podcast on our website, www.brutalirongym.com. There's a podcast player on the website, goes back 300 episodes. Underneath the player, we have instructions on how to find older podcasts, whether you're on a mobile device or a laptop. So you can go back, you can listen to podcast 1149. It talks about creating a healthier sleep pattern, which actually starts with what you do during the day, nutritionally and supplement-wise. And then as you go through the evening, there are certain things you can do to make yourself ready for bed on time. And then how you can actually improve the quality of your sleep. I recognize, and I'm human as well, that we can't always get more sleep, but we can get better sleep. And that's the key. So podcast 1149 just isn't me telling you for 20 minutes to sleep more. It's actually telling you how to sleep better. So great podcast there. The next thing we talked about was nutrition. His nutrition was crazy. It was all over the place. He was eating way too much, and then he was dropped 800 calories a day by the trainer, by the coach, told to go down 800 calories a day. And surprisingly, he felt like crap. I can't believe it. Who would have thunk, But so we talked about that, and I was like, oh gosh, I said, this is what you want to do. I sent him to the website because on the website we have the free nutrition education page. The first document on there is a document you can download that teaches you how to write your own nutrition program. I said, I want you to go on that. I want you to set yourself up where you're just trying to find like maintenance calories. Let's just get you back to healthy. Don't worry about going too high and then gaining a bunch of body fat. Let's not worry about being too low where you're impairing recovery and adaptations. Let's get you in the middle. Just get you healthy, get you feeling good, and then we would modify it from there. So I sent him to that, and he can now figure out the right amount of calories and the right amount of protein. If you are struggling to make progressions in your training, your calories and your protein are going to have absolute impact. Absolute. If you are high and low on your calories, you're not within your proper ranges, you're going to feel wishy-washy and all over the place. If you're low on your protein, chronically low, you are not going to recover as well. You are not going to make proper adaptations. You will not be able to make proper progressions. You must have your calories and protein in place because they are the big drivers they're a big component of adaptation between workouts. It's like you could have the fanciest car in the world. I want you to think right now, what do you think is the fanciest car? I don't know anything about cars, so I'll name like a Lamborghini or a Porsche. I have no clue. I don't know what good cars are, but those are pretty good ones, I think. The best car in the world, okay? You have it in your driveway, but it doesn't have any tires. What good does that do you? It can be nice to sit in it. It probably has really good, leather and whatever it is. But you can't do anything with it if there's no tires, right? You can train. You can have the Ferrari of workouts. But if you don't have proper calories and protein, you have no damn wheels. You have nothing that is going to move you forward. Calories and protein are what your body uses to make the adaptations demanded by training. It doesn't matter the quality of your training. It can be crap. It could be a station wagon with wood grain siding, or it could be a Ferrari. Won't make a damn bit of difference if you don't have the proper nutritional support. You don't have any wheels. So you have to have your calories and you have to have your protein. They have to be correct for you to continue to be able to make progressions. Workout by workout, week by week, month by month, year by year. The next thing is hydration. We want to be drinking somewhere around-ish half your body weight to your body weight in ounces of fluid a day. So if you weigh 200 pounds, you want to be drinking between 100 to 200 ounces of fluid a day. So half your body weight to about your body weight in ounces of fluid a day. That's going to be pretty rough, just give you a guesstimate idea of like hydration. So those are the things when we look at recovery, is if somebody is plateaued and then they look in their regular life and they're like, yeah, I've been super stressed at work. Maybe I had to transfer positions. Maybe I got somebody else's position because they quit and now I'm doing their work as well. Maybe there's something demanding going on in your personal life. Maybe you have a lot of appointments. Maybe there's some health issues. If your sleep, your nutrition, your calories and protein, and your hydration are not where they used to be, you will not be where you used to be physically. So if you've noticed you've plateaued, but you also noticed your sleep, your nutrition, and or your hydration have decreased, that is why. That's why you're plateaued. So you have to look at those things, you have to fix those things, you have to address those things. Most often, those are the issues. Most often, that is why somebody is plateaued. They're not sleeping well, they're not eating right, or they're not hydrating right. The next two things we would look at is to make sure you switch things up. There are programs out there that will tell you that it's totally okay to stay with the same exact exercises for 8, 12, even 16 weeks. I've seen somebody who's a world record holder. They use this app that makes automatic workouts, but they have their name attached to it, and they sell 16-week programs, and it's like flat bench 3 sets of 8, incline bench 3 sets of 12, decline bench 3 sets of 10. Absolute trash. That is garbage. The person should feel embarrassed. That is absolute trash. So that they're going to tell you to do that for 12 weeks, and you're supposed to make progressions? In what and how? Like, you're not even giving the person a rep range, so they're supposed to just move up 5 pounds for 12 weeks? They're going to move up 60 pounds? No, that's absolutely stupid. The downside, though, is that the people who buy the programs don't know that that's stupid, and then they feel like they're inadequate because they can't make those progressions. No one on the face of the planet can do that, unless you're sandbagging the hell out of those first workouts, but that's just absolutely stupid. So a lot of programs, if it's like 12 or 16 weeks, I think the majority of people who write good quality programming would tell you that that's trash. If you have somewhere between exercises being repeated for 4 to 8 weeks, people will make the argument that that's okay, but I disagree. I believe that exercises should be changed every 4 weeks on average. I have some clients I change every 2 to 3 weeks for various reasons. Some clients I'll extend it out 5 or 6 weeks for various reasons. But overwhelmingly, kind of like the number I aim for, except for extreme cases, is every 4 weeks we change exercises. I talk about why that is in good detail in podcast 1468. It's a Q&A podcast titled How Often Should I Change Exercises? Pretty good name there. Pat in the back. But I do believe you should switch things up. You should change exercises every 4 weeks. If you're feeling like crap, you're feeling super beat up, let's assume you've already looked at your sleep, your nutrition, and hydration. You want to bring down your frequency and or your volume. So if you're training 4 days a week, maybe switch to training 3 days a week. If you're training 5 days a week, maybe switch to 4. Just bring a day down, okay? If you're only training 3 days a week, you probably keep that. Don't go lower than that. So what you would do in that case is you would bring down your volume. Instead of 3 working sets per exercise, you only do 2 working sets per exercise. So just bring down the frequency and or the volume in some way if you're feeling like absolute crap. Make sure you check your sleep, your nutrition, and your hydration. Let those, build you back up. Bring down the frequency, bring down the volume. That can help some. If you're actually feeling okay, you're feeling good, but you're just plateaued, definitely switch up exercises. Still do that. But also recheck your technique. You might be having like technical problems. Maybe you're doing something that's just wrong in a lift, and that's why you're plateaued. A lot of times when I watch people squat online, if you watch their bar path, they drift forward at the bottom half of a squat. The bar goes straight down and then it angles forward in the bottom half, and then they have trouble standing back up. Of course, hell yeah. The bar got in front of your center of gravity. You're going to have much more stress into your quads and lower back. You're not going to be able to use your glutes as much. So if you see things like technical issues, like the bar path being off, that could be why you're plateaued. It's just simply a technical issue. Now, that's something that you can try to fix with what you pay attention to during a lift, but also in your kind of accessory lifts or your related lifts. Maybe you want to work on things that get you back on your heels, open up your adductors, strengthen the muscles of the hips, that way, like the external rotators, so you can actually stay back on your heels. There's a lot of variations you can do with exercise selection around a main lift to fix a technical cue, but you might be having a technical cue issue. You can get a gym friend to look at it. You can hire a coach for a month. I know some coaches, they have you do like 6-month contracts or 12-month contracts. That's their choice. So I understand if you don't want to hire a coach and commit to 6 months, but there are coaches that just do month to month. So me, for example, I don't have anybody under contract. My opinion is if I suck and you want to leave, go for it. That's on me. That's my bad. I'm not going to try to hook you into it. Thankfully, it works out well. I have clients I've had since before I owned the gym. So I've owned the gym now for 12 years. I have clients longer than that. So thankfully it's worked out well, not having a contract, not needing a contract. But I do understand why some trainers do that. But if you have the availability of a coach who doesn't have a contract, dip in for a month. Have them look at your lifts, and then maybe you can, go back to doing it yourself if you can't afford them like every single month. But it might be a good investment. Just have them look over everything you're doing and see if you're on the right track. The third tip is maybe you're going through a technical refinement, or you're attacking some really big weaknesses. And that's going to make it feel like you're plateaued or you're stagnant in the lift, But really, it's just because you're still figuring out positions. You're working muscles that are really kind of like physically weak and small. So it might take a significant amount of time for that to start to feel like you can move forward. So I have one client, powerlifter, strong as shit. Oh my God, super strong. Very, very, very strong in squat and deadlift. His bench isn't bad. It's just not comparable to his squat and his deadlift yet. So part of the reason is just doesn't have a lot of muscle mass on the upper body. He has very thick lower body. He was kind of heavier when he was younger, so he built up some good thickness in his lower body walking around and doing sports or whatever. But there just isn't a lot of muscle mass to the upper body. So we're having to find a new position for his bench press and understanding new concepts in kind of how to use his body. That is going to cause some plateau and stagnation just simply because we can't find the right way to display his strength yet. We're working on that still. And then also, the muscle mass in the upper body is small, so there's not a lot of volume tolerance, volume capacity for those muscles yet. So we might get a couple good sets and everything crashes and burns. We just haven't built up a lot of muscle endurance, like strength endurance in those tissues yet. We haven't built up the tissues themselves yet. So sometimes that just takes time. What I would remind that client and anybody else going through that is consider the bigger picture. Recognize that you're struggling with that lift. Maybe it is plateaued, but you're investing into the future. You're working on technical issues. You're working on muscular development. You're investing into the future. It will pay off. This is just a phase you have to go through if you want to get somewhere. You have to go through the mess to get to the other side, right? The other thing is to focus on the other things, like focus on the good things. If your squat's going up, if your deadlift is going up, if all your other exercises are going up, maybe you're eating really well, you're getting leaner and you can notice that. Just focus on the things that are going well and make sure that you remember them to keep you motivated, to keep you confident, to keep you happy. And recognize that the thing that's stagnant, the thing that's frustrating is at least just an investment into the future. If you go through the misery now, you can have the reward. If you avoid the misery, you're never going to get the reward. So just dive in, just commit to it, work through it, grind through it, and eventually it will work out. Okay? Cool. If you have any plateaued issues, make sure you use all these tips. Check out the podcast, and then also consider our services. Like I said, we have a lot of free stuff on our website. We have the free Create Your Own Nutrition program on the website under the free nutrition education page. On the live monthly programming page, we have full 1 month free examples of programs. So you can create your own nutrition program for free. You can select one of the 6 program focal points and have a whole month of training for free all on our website. I am trying my best. I have been absolutely insanely blessed, and I'm very grateful to be able to do what I do and make a good living doing it. And it's all thanks to you guys. It's just, I genuinely appreciate it. It's such a blessing to be able to do what you love and make money. So I want to give back as much as I can, because a lot of the things that I get to do with my one-on-one clients is a lot of nuances. I have people who are brand new, and I have people who are already elite, already like a natural pro card or IPB pro. And it's fun to get to work in the weeds with them, which is stuff that I can't put on for free because it's often so individualized and so personalized, it really wouldn't make any sense to make that for free. So I try to make the starting stuff free on our website. I'm very blessed, very grateful, and I want to continue to give back as much as I can. So please check out the website for all the free stuff that you can get. We also do have our services, which is the one-on-one coaching, where you work with me directly, and the live monthly programming. If you like that first month example of programming, sign up for the service and you get brand new programs every 4 weeks. So pretty awesome. Okay, if you need anything, if you have any questions, let me know. My email is brutalirongym@gmail.com. If you like the podcast, please share the podcast. If you like the podcast, please consider donating to support the podcast, which you can do on the website. If you like the information we share in the podcast, you can find more from us on our social media channels. You can find us and follow us on Instagram and YouTube under the name Brutal Iron Gym. As always, I hope this was helpful, and thank you for listening.